All right. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Struggling Day Trader channel. The name is Hassan, and this channel is about my struggle to become a profitable day trader. I stream live every market open so you guys can see my entries, exits, all that good stuff. If you want to join me on my journey, hit that like button and subscribe. Also, Discord link is in the description. You guys want to hang out outside of YouTube. For now, let's go over my trades for the day. Man, so this is the third trading day in a row. Thursday, Friday, and Monday today. The third one in a row that I sat down, and from the open to 10:30 when my alarm goes off to tell me to stop trading, that I had not a perfect session, but a good session. A good session, you know? And the problem is 2 out of those 3 days after my 10:30 alarm went off, I traded and I went to max loss. Did that today and I did that Thursday. And it's just like when I did it Thursday, I was like, it was my mindset. I felt like listening to that rule was an injustice. Like that rule was unfair and it wasn't necessarily the best thing in the moment. Like that's how I felt about it. When in reality, I created that rule after looking at a lot of trades and a lot of experiences and it was a lot of things that went into me deciding to say, okay, we're not going to trade after 10:30. But just sometimes in that moment, I have to take a trade and it just everything else goes out the window. That's what happened Thursday. Today, I don't know, I just didn't like snap out of it. Like the alarm went off, I pressed the button, but I didn't really like end the trade session in my mind. Like I was still actively looking for a trade. And so that's something that's kind of a big thing holding me back in this moment. It seemed like every few months I run in, or weeks or whatever, I run into a new hurdle, and my hurdle right now is to not trade after 10:30. And I feel like it's a simple hurdle, so I'm not like too tripping about it, but it's like a big deal. Like we're talking about 6R in the last 3 days lost due to trading after the session was over. Like you was over, bro. You were good. I think I was green. I was green Thursday. I was green Friday, and then today I would have been minus 63 cent. You know, um, so basically a break even day. And those are great days. Like for that to be my bad day or my midday, that's great. You know, But to go from that to minus 3R and then to do that twice in the last 3 days, like that's a big deal. Those R's add up, man. So that I gotta fix that. That's pretty much my main issue. That and the pre-market process of actually picking good setups. Um, so today I had AMD and here we'll do the daily down here. So this was basically the setup that I was getting into on the daily right here. So this was previous day, and we have a lower low here, but then we have a lower high, but then we have a higher low, right? And this volume is nice, at the lows, little volume spike here. Possibly this could be, AMD changing the trend and starting the uptrend right here. Problem is this is a pretty decent green day. And for this type of setup, I want to be the first green day. You know, the only time I would want to be the second green day if the green day was like this. Bottoming tail, it just closed up green, but it was a pullback day. Trading the day after, even though it gapped up, that was pretty much the reason why I went ahead and watched it, because even though we had this morning, we gapped above this high. So I thought that was significant enough to go ahead and watch it. Um, Let's go up here. So it wasn't like, anything egregious on uh AMD. Nothing like I'm super upset at myself about or anything like that. So came down here, set the low of day, and pushed up. I could have looked at this as a higher low, but it just wasn't clean. It wasn't clean. Not that this was clean either, but I guess by this time now I'm looking at the structure of this higher high and this area right here being a higher low. But if you're of the mindset of taking A plus clean setups, this one does not get taken. Right? This is very choppy, lots of top and bottom and tails, lots of trading inside of the range of the previous candles. This is just a really nasty looking chart. I wish I stayed out of it, but considering that I did trade it, I did okay. Um, just basically traded it twice and stopped break even both times. Uh, yeah, nothing really, nothing really exciting here. I just, I would rather stay out of these because this is like not clear. It's not clear, So in hindsight, when I see these type of this type of price action, I'd like to have the foresight to not foresight, but just the thoughtfulness to look and say this is not a clean chart. Let's look for something better, you know. But anyway, two trades, break even. I mean, minus 90 cent on the day on these two trades. So yeah, that was a dud. And then I had Oracle on watch also. Huh, that's cool. I didn't expect that to happen. Um, Oracle. This daily was absolute garbage. you know, um, yeah, straight garbage. So this is a lower low, and I guess what I was looking at was kind of like this being a higher low, but like all of these candles are overlapping. They're really all inside of the same range. This is not a setup. This is not a setup. And that's something I've actually been pointing out for myself a lot more. And I even have a folder here that I'm trying to work into my morning routine um, called Picture Time. And I have 4 examples of hammer candles inside of the range, of the previous candles. And so I'm trying to burn it in my mind that I don't want to take these anymore. That this is not a setup, a hammer candle inside of the range of the previous candles. The hammer candle, you want it to break below a range and find, new participants, people who weren't participating in the last range, and you want to see them push the price back up into the range, not just the price playing inside of the range of this candle. So this was I failed myself in pre-market with this one. That being said, intraday, I played it pretty well. So we got this pretty good low down into here. I'm looking at it now, looking at how far it pushed below yesterday's high. I'm kind of, you know, um, I don't know. Like but part of me wants to draw a hard line and say I don't want to take any entries that are below the previous day's high. But I feel like I've caught a significant amount of trades like this that did dip below previous day's high. I need to get that stat. I think eventually when I get a better compilation of my data and I've tagged them and all of that, hopefully I can look back and see how often these work when I take them after they've broken below the previous day high, you know. Because I mean, this definitely could have been one to stay out of. It just didn't do much for me, and it ended up closing red, right? Oh man, it's okay. Let me just it's about to kick me off. Um I think we're okay just sitting on this screen though. But I mean, one thing I've noticed over the last 3 days is that my my opening mindset and my presence at the open has become really cool. Like I've really chilled out at the open, and I'm just waiting for that higher low or double bottom. And I used to get really anxious and excited about the dip itself, but you just there's I don't want to buy the dip anymore without the confirmation. And like I'm over it. Like I've seen it so many times where it's a dip and you see the volume come in and you think, okay, this is the bottom, and then it makes a lower high and another lower low. Like it just continues the trend, what it was already doing. And you get stopped out and it's like, well, why did you like what did you think was gonna happen? So yeah, like now I'm waiting, I'm watching it come down, and the first green candles are showing up and I'm chilling and I'm just waiting for that first pullback to see what it does. Looking at the volume of that first pullback, looking at how much it pulls back, all of that stuff. And yeah, so the open has gotten pretty tight, at least the last 3 days. This stuff is up and down, but I'm trying to dial in my mindset so I can be pretty close to the same mindset every morning with the scripts that I'm trying to implement into my morning. So hopefully we're seeing that working. Now I just really need to dial in my pre-market selection process and stopping at 10:30. Those are like my two focuses right now. And I think I'm doing pretty good with, taking the steps necessary. Um, so I've finally written out my watch list criteria, as specifically as I could make it, to where if it doesn't, I'm just gonna go ahead and close DOS because it's just lost the connection. Um, if it doesn't check every single one of these, then it is not being watched. That's where I'm trying to be. So uptrending on the daily, gap over previous day's high, like those two things are like yes or no. It's not. There's no opinion. There's no guessing, and patterns is like that kind of looks good, kind of doesn't look good. No, it's either uptrending or not. It's either making higher highs and higher lows or not, right? And it's either gapped over the previous day's high or it hasn't. So those are like very clear things. And then the clean setup. This is the one that gets me caught up because you can kind of fudge and squint and kind of make things look like they kind of work, but then you get stopped out and now all of a sudden you can see how bad of a setup it was. So the clean setup is a setup that everyone can recognize, right? Like you see that chart and it's like, oh wow, I'm about to watch that. That type of setup. That's a clean setup. And that's the whole point. Everybody's trading it. Everybody's looking for that setup. Everybody sees the long setup. Everybody's going long. That's where you want it. So the clean setups that I'm playing are the buy setup, which is a higher high, higher low. Parabolic gap, which is a gap over multiple highs, usually all-time highs, but like multiple levels broken by the gap. Lots of shorts underwater, ideally type of situation. And then the harami, which is a wide range red candle followed by a narrow range inside candle or green candle. Yeah, so those are the three gaps I'm looking for on the daily chart. On the daily chart, the three setups, and then the last requisites: 1 million volume traded pre-market at least, and then elevated RVOL. I want to see the RVOL up. I want to see more than normal trading going on, basically. Um, and then I got my disqualifiers over here. Also, a lower low. Like this gets me. It's so simple and obvious, but it gets me caught up. lower low, man. If I see a lower low, it's broken. The uptrend is broken. Once you get a lower low, now you need a higher high and a higher low to reset it. So it's just broken once you get that lower low. No pre-market volume. If it's gapping up, but there's no pre-market volume, that means people don't care. And I want to be where the people are. So no pre-market volume. And then the pattern happening inside the range, that's those pictures I just went through a few minutes ago. That's what I'm trying to stay away from. Those patterns happening inside of a range and then below yesterday's high. Yeah, I think I'm going to kind of keep that as a semi-rigid thing. If it's below yesterday's high, then this isn't the moment, you know. This isn't the moment I'm waiting for. But yeah, man, I'm getting really excited, man. It just the progress is so obvious. You know, the I went back and looked at my some of my executions and just how I used to buy. I'd get a decent entry and I'd let the price go up and I would be waiting for some, you know, fairy tale target and, you know, have all kind of money on the table unrealized, and then I would just watch it come all the way back down to my stop. And now I look at my charts and I have my entry at the bottom and just red arrows all the way up, just like taking profit on the highs and the volume spikes. And it's like, man, that's really a big improvement. And I just got like a few more main issues to work before I think I can start seeing an uptrend in my P&L. Like right now, I'm still losing money every month. So um, just to get to the point where I don't have to, you know, put more money in my account, you know, because I pretty much just keep it at the bare minimum. And, you know, when the fee comes out, you know, I pretty much just put the fee back in every month. And, you know, that's it. But yeah, man, hopefully, you know, hit the bottom of my P&L and maybe we can start curling up, man. I know there's gonna be other hurdles and other struggles to come, but uh, I'm in a nice stride right now, so super excited, man. Um, we'll see how it goes, man. Anyway, hit that like button for me, subscribe if you haven't, and join me at the open tomorrow, man. It's going down, making it happen. All right, y'all, appreciate you. Peace.